Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's No FOMO Charts, Stocks, and Crypto TA live stream. Welcome, everybody. In this live stream, I go over stock charts and crypto charts for the upcoming week. Today's January 27, 2024. It is a Saturday, and we're coming up into the last week of stock trading for the month. This is going to be the biggest week of this month, arguably because of stock earnings and economic data that's coming out. So this week to watch out for, we have earnings releases for all the big tech companies here in the USA, starting with Google, Microsoft, AMD, just to name a few here, Starbucks, Pfizer, General Motors, UPS, MasterCard, Boeing, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Royal Caribbean as well, Chevron and ExxonMobil. But arguably the biggest companies, Google, Microsoft, AMD, Amazon, Apple, Meta, those top 6 of the week to watch out for. Now, in terms of economic data releases, we had the federal funds rate this week, which means Federal Reserve, FOMC, is going to do the press conference here in the United States. So it's going to be probably talk about the recent GDP data, unemployment data, CPI, PPI, and the PCE inflation data, and other markers as well. But my opinion is we're probably not going to get a rate cut right away because the data for this month, at least, is not going in favor of interest rate inflation cut. So that's why. That's just my personal opinion. It could be totally wrong, but let's see what happens on Wednesday. We also have job openings, consumer confidence, employment change, unemployment claims, manufacturing PMI, average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, unemployment rate, and consumer sentiment. There's a lot of that data coming out. In terms of news, stock earnings season continues. FOMC meeting on Wednesday, January 31. The earnings is going to really pick up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, this was an interesting study I saw on CNBC News. Harvard University did a study on rental housing and discovered that half the renters in the USA are cost burdened. And this is at an all-time high. It's 22 million people. And cost burden means something approximately that 20% to 30% of the renter's income is going to the cost of the rent. And rent has increased 20% higher in the past 5 years. So why does that relate to us? Because that relates, some people, these 22 million people might not be thinking about investing in stocks or investing in crypto right now. That's what I'm saying. The Bitcoin halving coming out in April this year, some people might get their tax refund, and then maybe we'll see a rally a little bit starting from this summer into next year and next summer. It's going to be interesting, but this, you can feel it. If you live in the USA, you can probably feel this in the culture when you go out in society, when you go outside, this data. For crypto, FTX bankrupt crypto exchange, and they were sued by the SEC. So this is a fraudulent company. However, they are selling their legitimate crypto assets and trying to raise cash to pay back customers. So that's why we had such a huge crash. FTX was selling GBTC ETF. That's why there's a lot of red in the market. And we'll talk about crypto in the second half of this stream. Let's go to SPY. Start off with stocks. Okay, stocks. S&P 500, we have the uptrend and the daily that's continuing right now. We're in the middle of earnings. We are in this upward type of rising wedge type of pattern of the price on the daily. A little slight rejection, hesitation, bit of this hanging man candle and a shooting star candle going sideways. just remember that the higher low, the support area, somewhere in this 480 range down here, because we can see that high, low, high, higher, low. It could be anywhere. It could just be right at 485, or it could go higher. The resistance, we have to break above 480, 490, and the immediate support 485. But just something to watch out there. On the weekly, it's still a green candle. Nothing to really be concerned about before earnings. Let's go to QQQ. QQQ. On the weekly, however, we do have a shooting star right before earnings. So it looks like somebody's been taking their profit in the market. On the daily, we're still in that uptrend, but you can see if the tech earnings are bad this week, we can definitely fall back down to 412. And I might open a short position after the major earnings are released, because we have a high, low, high, higher, low pattern. And if we open some of these indicators down here, there is bearish divergence on the charts. Now, what we need is a corporate earnings, negative corporate earnings, to make that bearish setup come true with the FOMC. I mean, can you imagine that? The double effect of that happening this week, but it remains to be seen. We'll see what happens. DIA, Dow Jones. Dow Jones on the daily, you can even see it losing momentum here on the RSI. We did have that breakout. Let's see if this actually made the measured move here, 1.5%. Almost, not quite. So the resistance is about 382.67, basically 383. And the weekly, we do have this, we had this gap up, but this could easily turn into a evening star bearish pattern if we have just 1 week of selling right now. And in terms of the momentum on the weekly, look how high this went. I mean, this is very abnormal. It's like a short squeeze and just really blasted off to the upside. So it kind of looks like this on the charts, this blue circle. This might not happen because of earnings, but this price pattern happened with the MACD losing momentum, and it was not even in the high zone. So we want to see this in the overbought area kind of pull back. I'm using a timer today. That's what that background noise is. But if it pulls back halfway, 7%, 352, that's a deep level of support. Let's go to Russell 2000. Russell 2000, we can see stuck here at this resistance area on the top. So remember, this is the fourth time, 1, 2, 3, 4, support, 1, 2, 3 times at the support level. And we can see it's trying to bounce right above 192.05 and try to make that lower high. So 2 scenarios can happen with this stock ETF index. The Russell 2000 can rally to 200, or it could pull back halfway down to 181, okay? 181 is that area where it's the middle half line, heart line here. And that's our middle area of support. It's actually lower than that, 177, but you get what I'm saying. Something to watch out for. This is a weekly by the chart. So on the daily, however, you can see we lost this uptrend. We lost this uptrend right here, and low, lower high, lower low. We could have this upside down head and shoulders, definitely possible, but we want to watch out for that. Okay, quickly, let's go to GLD. Let's go to gold here. So gold on the daily stuck below that resistance point. It's in a very large ascending triangle for about 3 years now, but this resistance of 195, you can see that has been our double top, right? And this is our support level, high, low, high, higher, low, higher, high. So if we don't break out above 193 very soon, this could pull back because we also lost the support line. And as soon as we lose the support line, you can see there's a big amount of gap here. So 175 is that support on the downside. On the weekly, look for clues. On the candles, Losing a little bit of momentum on that MACD, but we're not super overbought. It's just something to think about with gold. Let's go to silver here. Now, silver, we can see it bounced off of that support level on the daily, possibly turning into an upside down head and shoulders in the 4 hours. So this could turn into a bullish setup going into this week, but not guaranteed. No trade is guaranteed, but because of earnings, it's a lot more volatile than it's going to be. Also, the end of this month, people are going to, some institutions might close out their monthly positions or rotate. So just want to watch out for that. But on the 4 hour there, this exists. This upside down head and shoulders with a 6% target at $22. If it fails, blue line support of $20 is this support line down here. Watch out for that. And a weekly, could be a weekly support bounce. That's what I'm saying last time on the stream. It did bounce. It's very nice. Let's quickly, copper with the potential upside down head and shoulders. Copper's really been struggling here, right? In 2022, it had a flash crash, almost like crypto, and riding that support, and it turned into a giant symmetrical triangle. This could be a breakout for copper if it holds. Why? Because higher high, higher low, it broke out of this downtrend, and it broke out of the symmetrical triangle, just hanging out on the top right here of the price. It looks like it wants to rally on a weekly. It could take months to do that. But yes, there is this potential head and shoulders forming, but it has to fall below $23. Okay, so if it falls below $23, then this chart is canceled. But since we're hanging out above the $23 level, if we break out above $24.50, then I would say, wow, this is actually going to turn into possible uptrend reversal here on copper. Very nice. US oil. Wow. Yes. This is what I'm talking about. The potential upside down head and shoulders that I've been talking about for almost weeks now finally came true on the US oil chart. And if we flip to XLE energy ETF sector ETF also double bottomed off of $80. So if you come back to oil and we look at this chart, there's this upside down head and shoulders. There's a higher low. There's double bottom W's going on here. There's trend line breakout. A lot of setups here on oil in this. The last pattern was a symmetrical triangle. So just measuring that inside part should go 6%. It did. 12% is the next target to the upside at $77. And we're going to try to see here if it gets to the overbought range. On a weekly area, weekly chart, there's that weekly double bottom off of $66 and huge MACD momentum. So we might rally, but it could, we need a healthy higher low here. It's not healthy to just go straight up to the sky with the price. Natural gas falling. Potential double bottom, maybe, right? Let's look long-term just so we get some perspective here. Long term, like I said, the weekly double bottom needs to bounce off of 1924, somewhere around there. If it happens to bottom and round back up, we could get a massive rally back up to 27, following maybe oil or the energy sector, possibly 40%. But it needs to definitely not drop below $18. Because if it does, then this is just a lower high in the price in this blue circle, and it should crash more. So I just want to watch out for that. Sometimes I need to be very patient on UNG. On this monthly, however, this giant MACD histogram is still building, and it looks like somebody just closed out their short. There was a monthly hammer candle in December, so looks like maybe somebody closed out a giant short on natural gas, possibly, or just taking profit or massive. This is always a suspicious candle after a rally goes down. After a rally goes down, and then you have this one shooting star, but it's at the bottom, possibly look out for that uptrend. Okay, let's just close off here. I have to add a little bit of time. Because we need to just look at some of the earnings here. So I'll just go rapid fire on these ones. So Google, okay. Remember, these following stocks, they are going to have their earnings come out this week. So personally, I do not hold or trade. I don't trade stocks before earnings. I wait till after the earnings release because then we get the full information. Then I could read the data, see the numbers. What did the CEO say? What did the CFO say? What was on that earnings call? What's the report? What are the numbers? And then make my decision of the stock. But as it stands right now, we'll look at this weekly chart just to get some perspective. Google, all-time highs for Google, right? We're not at the bottom here anymore of 2000, 1 year ago, 2023. No. We totally rallied all the way off of that. So then where's our immediate levels of support? We can get some pivots up here just to help us. On a daily, next resistance, 159. Next level support, 145 or 140. Just getting these levels out here on the charts. So Google, just want to see what happens with their revenue, etc. Microsoft also at all-time highs, right? Are you kidding me? This was such a great opportunity in 2023. It was really hard to go through this year, but anyone holding stocks or investing stocks has just been a great year. Now it's at all-time highs. So where else can we go? Same thing. On a weekly area, we could go to 431. Level support immediately below 390 or 380. It really depends on the profits of this company. Look at Apple as well. Apple at all-time highs. Although this chart is not that beautiful looking because this is the bottom of that pandemic on Apple. And it's starting to go up and then it went sideways for a very long time and hit that double top just below 197. Immediate level support 178 and 165 for a daily chart. And it's not really going higher right now. It's because we had so many problems with the Apple Watch, etc. And M1, M2, M3. It's not extreme innovation, in my opinion. I've been a long-time Apple user, so I have my own personal opinions about it, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is the earnings release, the numbers, and then the reaction in the market to the earnings release. Not my opinion. My opinion does not matter for earnings, right? I can try to forecast it or predict it, but earnings, just let it happen. So the support levels clearly marked here in the blue for anybody wanting to know. Let's do a quick AMD. AMD, beautiful rally to all-time highs. However, the weekly, this hanging man candle, it's not really confident. And you have a huge amount of volume too. Large amount of volume, always dangerous when that happens. So just in case somebody has FOMO about AMD, remember AMD used to be $57 back here and huge rally, potential cup and handle. So if the earnings are great, we should really try to go maybe 80 to 100% higher from that breakout spot. If that's true, perhaps maybe 231, but the earnings, it's all about that. Okay, 1 second. Let me open my document. I feel like I'm missing one. Let's do Amazon and Meta, and then we'll stop with stocks and go straight to crypto. Amazon is not at all-time highs. Hit my support zone. That was 1 year ago analysis about that upside down in stroller is just wonderful. But this one, you can actually put up a Fibonacci and low to high. Retrace very, very powerfully. However, we're right below the 236 Fibonacci. So the next level up, the major level up could be 171 or 188. The support level somewhere here at 145 or 140 area just for Amazon. And lastly, for Meta, just the ultimate recovery. I remember this downtrend rally off a lawsuit and the canceling of certain products. And when it hit $100 and $95, I said, wow, that's incredible discount for Meta. previously Facebook, but it made a full retracement. And this is a powerful lesson here for anybody wanting to study the charts for stocks, that this is possible. Crypto is like this. Tech stocks are like this. Even the stock market, at certain periods of time, pandemic low to pandemic high, into interest rate problem, into corporate company problem. But then did they survive? Yes. Wow. Did Meta go bankrupt since 2020? No. So we had a market-wide rally, and it's just incredible proof of how that is possible. So sometimes zooming out and just being a long-term investor is basically the play. That's the right move. If somebody's trying to really capture more than 5 to 10%, I mean, we went from the bottom to top, 333%, right? So just even half of that is like 165%. That was an incredible opportunity for anybody trying to get in here. And just remember that Meta owns Instagram. Let's not forget about that. Okay, let's move on to crypto. Let's go to crypto here. I'm using a timer to keep the stream short. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the crypto segment of the live stream. We're looking at total and Bitcoin, and I'll try to do the top 10 coins unless somebody has a request. So let's start off here. Total, TOTAL, where are we? On the daily, we actually fell. We had it was a little bit stressful sell-off if you had to witness this, right? For about 2 weeks. And remember, this is started off by FTX, the former crypto exchange that went bankrupt. They had to sell their GBTC ETF to pay back their customers. That's why crypto had a bit of a crash here. Now, long term of crypto, I was telling some people, I'm still bullish long term. Because if you zoom out all the way, let me bring up a BLX chart for Bitcoin, for example, right? First halvening, we went up. Second halvening, we went up. Third halvening, we went up. Fourth halvening, we might go up. 0 to 75% chance it takes 1 year to get to the top. So I might have to wait 1.5 years, basically. I might have to wait till next summer before I sell my crypto. Now, if I crash, if we lose $20,000 Bitcoin and then this happens in the price, I'm out. I'm going to sell for sure as an investor, because that would confirm we had a lower high on a weekly and it's going to dump back down to like $2,000 or something if that happens, right? 5,000 maybe. But if we hold this support line you see in the bottom yellow, that every halvening we've had this type of quiet and then explosion up to the sky, right? So that's what I'm watching out for. So coming back to total, this is just a higher high on a weekly price pattern in the white price. Yes, we could fall back down easily to 1.5 trillion or 1.4 trillion. You see this pattern happening. Or sometimes in crypto, it just hesitates to go sideways and then blasts off higher. So I'm hoping that happens for all investors. And we have the halvening in less than 3 months. It's going to come by fast. But in between there is quite a bit of open gap space. So I do want to remind that to people that if we happen to crash down to 1.25 trillion, that's actually normal. That could happen. Everybody FOMOing up here into $45,000 Bitcoin, 1.6 trillion, and then there's no one else left to buy. It's supposed to go down because demand is supposed to match the price. If there's no demand, the price will fall. So let's go to Bitcoin. Now, let's start a fresh chart. Always good. Always good to start a fresh chart. Coinbase. Daily Bitcoin. Draw a level of support on the bottom side. Resistance trend line on the top side. And now we can see we're in an upward channel on Bitcoin on the daily. High, low, high. Where's the next high or low? Question mark. Could be 39,000. We might have just hit it. 34,000 makes more sense because we want to see a strong level of support being established. How long does that usually take? Takes about 2 months, 2 to 3 months, 75 days. This one took 75 days, right? So 2.5 months. So 2.5 months takes us right into the halving. Does that make sense? Or basically 3 months. So it's all coming like into play. It's like a puzzle pieces, all of the puzzle pieces coming together for me on this chart. We're still in this long-term uptrend here. Definitely still alive in crypto. However, the only thing is that weekly is a little bit overbought. It's not extreme. We have seen it kind of fizzle out before in 2019. So this is the bearish example of what happens. And this is a bullish example. A is a bearish example, and then B is a bullish ending, right? Even if it comes down, like I said, 1 or 2 years from now, maybe we'll get this, right? It comes down for a year, and then we go up for 1 or 2 years. So whatever the exact scenario is going to be upcoming, we're ready for it. Okay, let's go to Ethereum. Last thing about Bitcoin is we have to break and hold above $47,000. Until that happens, we're still waiting for that to happen, okay? It's not anything to get super excited about until we break and hold above 47, probably above 50,000. If somebody's a swing trader and really desperate and hungry for some setup right now, we did, not desperate, but hunting for setups. I used to be a swing trader. Is we broke out of this falling wedge. So if that holds up, that could be good. A little bit of momentum on the hourly, a little bit of open MACD on this H4. It could fall down once retested and then try to break out again. We'll see what happens. Ethereum. Clean Ethereum chart. Potential double bottom here, but it could also turn into a head and shoulders. So this is the 4 areas I'm going to mark. Our immediate level of support is 2,200. It could bounce, but then we don't want that to happen because it turns into a head and shoulders and that would go down. So we just want this to just really rally back up here, stuck in between a 7% range. There's still some life here on Ethereum. I'm seeing a lot of wicks down here. That means people are buying and trying to defend. Some whales or maybe miners or traders, we're all trying to defend the $2,000 level. We don't want to go below that. But the fact that Ethereum's going sideways, that's not healthy. It should angle up. We need to keep going up. And it is that relative higher high on the price here on the weekly. So we're losing momentum, but it's not over for Ethereum. The larger pattern here, you can see that support line. So if it happens to drop down here, that'll be like $1,700, but we need to hold that support level very, very strongly. Binance Coin, very quickly, just consolidating. We fell below that symmetrical triangle. So the resistance 318, 297. This upside down head and shoulders might not be over. It could consolidate quite a bit lower. Also, this could be some kind of cup and handle pattern as well. The cup and handles were all over stock market. So if this pulls back further, it's not a textbook, but it could work. Let's go to Solana. Now, Solana defending above the $80 level. It didn't quite fall back down to the 76, but I like on the daily, there was at least this Morningstar pattern. I like that because it shows there's support and people defending this area a little bit lower than the previous liquidity area. But I like people are defending that and momentum's starting to build. It could take another month if you're an investor for this thing to really survive. But as long as we don't continue a downtrend, some consolidation's okay. This is a daily downtrend, yes, but it's not a super mega downtrend where I need to be scared. As long as we hold this, there was apparently some H4 4-hour oversold bounce. I do like that as well. And if we happen to break out of here and break $100, that'd be nice to see again. Just remember, I was looking at this chart. the other day and saying, let me bring up another one and saying here, Solana, what if, just like Facebook, just like NVIDIA, right? We have a super oversold here. And what if this is not the end, right? So the way to try to forecast that is, remember, this ascending triangle is basically completed. We should have gone 200% and it went basically that. Or 150 to 300%. It went 300%. So that initial first target is done. There's quite a bit of space here. Are we extremely overbought? We fell back down to a little bit of neutral. It could fall back down again. What we want to avoid here is this. You can see where a little bit of consolidation is okay in the blue, but if there's a lot, that's not okay. If we fall back all the way down to $25, that's pointless as an investor for me. So I don't want it to drop down too much, but we want to watch out that it doesn't turn into a downtrend like this, fading down a lot, lower high, and then that's the death trap of holding too long, right? So don't want that to happen. But because it's at the top spot, it's basically somewhere like right here. It's not really evident on the daily, weekly that it's going to crash. Not really. The final dip, it needs to really have more information. So we're going to have to hold a little bit longer if you're an investor, but your money, your choice, right? It's your account, your responsibility. So don't just blindly follow other people. And if you are invested in Solana, because we lost that uptrend, right? And we lost that support level. So unless we have a strong recovery in the next 30 days, we could have a grim outlook on Solana. Use different chart. Let's move on. Cardano. Same thing with Cardano, except for this chart. If I zoom out a lot on a weekly, this could turn into, it's not perfect cup and handle, but I kind of like what I'm seeing here. The rounding bottom right here. And then the pullback. And what happens after that? The alarm is saying potential breakout, right? So right here, cup and handle, 160% for the breakout. Cup and handle textbook, this is supposed to fall down 33%, 1/3 of the way down. We can measure that. It's down like 18%. If it goes down, piercing deeper into 40 cents, that could turn it into like some kind of larger, it's not a perfect cup and handle, but I'm just saying, if it does that, beautiful play. Could be beautiful, right? Because if you look at it from a monthly, this is not the full data. We're missing a lot of data here. But at least going from a downtrend and we stopped, and then the uptrend, this is why I'm giving Cardano a chance. Okay? Because if Cardano only went to the top here and it came back down, that's pointless. But you see here, we double bottom, we made a higher low, I made a higher high. So I'm actually, as an investor, I'm going to let it make a higher low. And this is the risk with investing. See if I can hold it, right? See if we're going to get back to $1. That's the risk of investing. If we happen to crash nonstop, then of course I'm going to take my profit and get out of there. But I like what I'm seeing here. I do like it right at a support level. Beautiful. Beautiful. 4-hour oversold. I like that. Let the oscillators cool off. Let it cool off a little bit. Okay, let's move on to some crypto. Move on. Let's do XRP. So Ripple as well at this area of support. Remember the first area of support, which I drew 50 cents. The next area of support down is like 45 or 40. So just want to watch out for that blue area here. Not much going on with XRP in terms of the news, but you can see the long term, it's not really rallying healthy style, right? It needs to rally. This is not a rally. This is people getting excited about news. Oh, fake news. Oh, news. Oh, not really happening. So it needs to break out above, definitely above 60 cents. And we need some buyers. We need some good activities to happen. I'm going to skip these two, but AVAX with the bounce, DOT with the bounce. Doge also had a bounce. The daily double bottom, it's not that big. However, this looks like possibly a 382 retrace. Let me see if I got that right. Oh, 50% retrace, even better. Even better. It's bouncing between the 382 and the 50%. 382, 50% right here. But did we lose the uptrend? Unfortunately, we did on the daily. And this is our lower high on this downside move. Now the question is just give me a retrace and can we get at least get a lower high going on for a chance at recovery? Because it is open MACD. I just have to wait for that as an investor. How do I know this is going to be the wrong thing to trade when it makes in the lower low? Because we're already in the rectangle halfway point. That's another reason why we might get a bounce. We're approaching that halfway middle red line, somewhere around there on the candle body wicks. So if it's going to bounce, it has to bounce somewhere in this area and try to get back to $1. If it doesn't, it's going to crash back down to 6 cents. Shiba Inu as well. Let me use a different chart. SHIB. Why am I excited still about SHIB? Because it hit the almost lowest spot and we bounced off of that. So that's why I'm giving SHIB a chance here on the white price. It didn't quite go down to 600, but close enough. We got to like 665 for that one day I did in June. But at the same time, I like this basing pattern. As long as we don't crash, it could triple bottom back down to 719. That would actually be a crash, negative 25%. That's okay. That's okay. In the long term, it's okay. Short term, it's not going to be okay. But the fact that we're still at this resistance line, it's trying so hard to just survive and get out of there. So I'll give it a chance. Let's go to one of these other ones. Litecoin as well. On the weekly, consolidation and symmetrical triangle. It's really large though. But what do I like about Litecoin? Like I said, it's riding that support level. So if it just rallies, goes straight up to $100, that's like a 25% gain. So that's why I like this as long as we hold above 60, 65 on Litecoin. I like that. As an investor, I have to be very, very patient. It could take me 6 months of just waiting for it to happen. Then finally something's going to happen, right? 50%. So we're going to see if that's true. If we lose $60 and then we close below there, like I said, I'm probably out of there, right? Because I know, oh, downtrend, got to take all the profits and get out of there. Link as well. Now, here's an example of a large consolidation pattern. Love to see this. Such a huge rectangle, and this is why we broke out there 50 to 100%. We hit that target. So does this not also look like a potential? It's dirty, but on the weekly, this might be setting up for that cup and handle. Like I'm saying, I keep seeing it everywhere in crypto. It's almost perfect. Rounding bottom, all we need is the handle. It has to come down, and then it'll bounce, stop here, maybe at the halfway 33% line, and then we get that blast off after the halvening. So if this is true, it could be 200% profit in the future. Link going to $52 if this holds. But in the short term, it could drop negative 33% or 40%. So that's just something to watch out for. If that happens, I might really load up on Link here. If I believe in this, right, to happen, we'll see. Tron's still in the uptrend. Bitcoin Cash barely surviving here. Consolidating sideways, trying to maintain an uptrend. Ethereum Classic breaking out of this down. Descending triangle, but breaking bullish. This is why, again, I'm giving some of these cryptos a longer term chance. Just let all the fear sell off happen. That's fine. Let it all happen. Get it over with. And then because we had this triangle breakout, I need to give this time. 1, 2, 3 years for this to prove itself. Why? Because it went from a downtrend to sideways price action or some strong support above 13. And I love that. Why? Because it signifies this selling has stopped for 2 years. And now we're starting to break out and rally. So if I'm going to give this time, I can't sell the crypto, the stock, just right on the first low bounce. As an investor, I learned don't do that. But I want to see this uptrend actually come alive. Could take a year as an investor. Okay. All right, everybody. Just want to say thank you for watching and following. If you like the stream, if you learned something, if you just want to support to keep the ideas flowing every week for the stream, go ahead and give me a follow on TradingView or YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, X, whichever platform you like using. Hit the like button, the boost button, or request a comment, a chart on the comments for next time. It's always appreciated. So again, in summary, we have stock earnings for this week and the FOMC stock market interest rate press conference, as well as crypto volatility, and it's the end of the month. Those are 4 reasons why to be careful this week. As a trader and investor, I will definitely be watching every day. All right, everybody, I'll see you next week, and I hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.